I mean, are you where you thought you'd be? Could you? None of us can actually, when we're young, we can't foresee where the journey's going to take us. And I hope that whoever reads this, we can recognise in our own lives, like, this is the better journey than I thought I would take. Wherever we are, it's the journey we were meant to take, and we didn't know about it. So there's thankfulness and there's humility in that for all of us. Because I thought I was going to be a Hollywood star. I was just pretty enough to be arrogant, and I could speak a few lines clearly. In fact, it was really embarrassing, but the Daily Mail, I think, interviewed my first theatrical agent, and his name was Vincent Graff, and he'd been my dad's agent, and it was a hit piece, of course, anyway. And he said, "Lauren Booth, better journalist than actor." And I'm like, "You are my agent! How painful is that?" But he was right.
How did you become interested in Palestine? Because I know after that period you went into journalism. And yes, as you've outlined, there is a kind of phobia about talking about Palestine within the media generally, and it's certainly, I think you wrote the Daily Mail. It seems a strange place for there to be a journalist who then ended up in Gaza.
Yeah, I don't think they're too happy about it, that's for sure. You know, the Iraq War in 2003 was really a catalyst for a lot of people to wake up to doing something. I remember that march. I was breastfeeding my newborn daughter. I was pushing my 3-year-old in a buggy, and it was an icy day. Was anybody there on that day? It was like almost snowing. And I said to my 3-year-old daughter, I said, "This is not fun, this is activism. All right, don't moan today. We're doing this for other people." And she was so rock solid, tiny little thing. She was like, "I get it, Mum. You know, we're doing this for the people who don't have homes and are going to be, you know, those who are going to be bombed, and we're going to do it for them." But on the other side, there were, it was such a 1,000,000-person march, I would say, and there were the jam-making Middle Englanders who were just outraged and did not want to go to war and were brought to the streets. So I always say, Tony Blair radicalised me. That should have been the title of the book. Oh no, Tony Blair radicalised me. Oh, I missed a trick there, maybe second edition.
So actually, I wasn't going to ask this, but you just brought it to my mind. The jam-making New Englanders sort of had this moment of clarity. Do you think that there can be another moment like this, particularly, you know, you've outlined in the book, mentioned also, you know, some of the feedback from your family as to not kind of understanding, having some perceptions of Muslims. Is there a way that we can get to that moment of clarity? For the vast majority of people who are decent people,
Yeah.
to make connections between them.
Do you know what? There was I think it was it 2009, the Gaza War in 2009, because it was before I was Muslim, I remember, and I gave a speech at that massive, again, it went from 15,000 people turning up at pro-Palestine marches to very quickly, you know this better than me, 200,000, you know, and I looked out and I thought the whole front row in the crowd were white middle-class English people, and they had their children with them, and they were crying because other people's children were dying. And that's the connectivity. It's about, are we human beings together, or are we tribal human beings? You know, I said to my children when I went to Gaza in 2008 with the Free Gaza mission, I said, and they were 8 and 5 years old, big ask of children. I said, look, are you more important, really, than other children around the world? No. Are they less important? Is their pain important? It is the same as ours. You know, Mummy, go and help the Palace Indians. They thought there was a palace with Indians who were praying, and I thought it was so cute. Please help the Palace Indians, they used to pray. And it's that moment, and I think we are connecting with that. And I don't think whatever veils are trying to be drawn over this, whatever blocks are trying to be put onto our speech, it's not working, because the reality is people's hearts are touched, finally.
So a couple of things from that.